Hello, this is Asia from the Roman Reigns' Fangirl channel. I'm here with another video, and instead of a rant, this will be in the defense of Miles Hollingsworth III from the Degrassi Next Generation and Degrassi Next Class. Um, I realize when it comes to Miles, there's a lot of hatred or indifference, and I'm just really here to just defend him. I know he's not the perfect character. Miles is flawed, which makes him human, which makes me can love him and hate him because one moment he makes mistakes and then the next he learns from them, but he kind of like it takes a minute to learn from them. But I feel like Miles has some of the best character development in the entire show, where I cannot say that about any other character who was around for as long where they didn't have any. You had characters like Zig who had zero character development. Zig, Frankie, Tiny, Shay, Winston, none of them had character development. And they was here since season 13 of Degrassi. Yet they had no character development. Zig came here in season 11 and yet he had no character development. Zig only personality was being in love with Maya. And I've always had a problem with that because it's like, who the fuck is Zig outside of dating Maya Matlin? I always had a bone to pick with that. Tristan had no character development. So you can't say out of that class he had no character development. It makes no sense because Miles had storylines. Miles had a lot of storylines, like I just said, that some of the cast members who were here longer than him never got. So I'm here to make a defense video about him, how I don't think he's really all that bad. Like I just said, he's a flawed character. So let's get into it. When I first rewatched, no, before I rewatched Degrassi, I watched Degrassi Next Class. And I watched Degrassi Next Class when I was in middle school. This was the first time I watched it. I was confused as fuck because I had no idea who any of these characters were. I was like, who are these people? Because they weren't the cast members I remember from Degrassi Next Generation, like Emma, Manny, Craig, Spinner, Paige. They weren't in them, so I was really confused. And I was thinking, so before I even was thinking, let me rewatch Degrassi, specifically Miles and them's generation seasons. I just watched Degrassi Next Class. I watched it and I finished it. Back when I first rewatched it, I really liked it. When I rewatched Degrassi Next Generation during the pandemic, I rewatched Next Class afterwards. I had to rewatch Next Class again, and then I realized I don't really like Next Class. I like that. And I have a video coming out soon on why I don't really like it and why I think it failed, which there are a number of reasons, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. I'm going to do that video sometime soon. I feel like Miles and Degrassi Next Generation, I think out of the new cast members they brought in, was probably some of the best character development they did for him just being in those 2 seasons for Degrassi Next Generation. He did some really good stuff I really like Miles' relationship with his father was very complicated, and I feel like anyone who's a child who feels like they have to work to get admiration or appreciation or love from a parent, they could connect with Miles. I connected with Miles because I feel like Miles was struggling. I think Miles couldn't exactly find what made him specifically happy. And I think because of that, it made him hurt people. And I'm not saying that's right, but I understand because everybody in this world, not everyone, but everyone in this world has been in a place where they felt like they're dealing with something and they couldn't tell anybody, so they took it out on someone who didn't deserve it. And I feel like Miles did that to a lot of characters in the show. I feel like when Miles was frustrated or angry, he took it out on people who didn't deserve it. Like, I really am one of those people who I feel like Miles, I don't think Miles dated Tristan to piss his dad off. I think with Tristan, I think he really liked Tristan. I think with Tristan, it was a different breath of air, and it was something different. But I really think Miles dated Tristan because Tristan liked him. I don't think Miles really liked it dudes, because y'all have to think, whenever he cheated on Tristan, he always did it a girl he never ever wanted to do anything with another guy. And I guess they felt like I guess the writers feel like they only wanted Miles to be with just one guy. But I feel like if you're really, really bi, why is it's always a girl and never a guy? It just doesn't make sense. And I'm not against gay people. I'm not, transphobic or biphobic. I'm not any of that. I don't really care what people like to do. I just feel like, in my opinion, I don't think Miles is really bi. Like I just said, I think he dated Tristan because he knew Tristan really, really liked him. And Tristan was always biphobic because he hated that whenever they would break up, Miles always dated a girl and he never wanted to like date him. He always made fun of Miles not knowing what gender he really liked, which is, who cares what gender he really likes. If he likes girls, he likes girls. If he likes guys, he likes guys. If he likes both, who gives a damn? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Tristan was just always mad that Miles rather date anybody else but him, which I found funny because he loved to blame Maya so much for his insecurities, why he can't be happy, why he can't keep a relationship. But when Zoe was dating the guy that he was in love with, where was that energy at? All the energy he had towards Maya, he never had that energy towards Zoe. And yet, she dated this man. She dated Miles in season 14. And she knew Tristan was still in love with him. Fuck out of here. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But anywho, like I'm saying, Miles had a really rocky relationship with his father. His father used him as a punching bag back when he was getting really frustrated with the campaign. And I explained that I feel like this was a storyline they could have really did more with, because like I said, when they started really doing the good stuff for it, they ended it, and I really had a problem with it. But just for what we got in those first 2 seasons with Miles and his dad, I felt like was some really good stuff. I wish Miles' dad was more involved in Next Class, because you only really saw him here and there. So it's like they never really had that moment where they could really have that relationship. You feel me? Like, when the paper came out, when Miles called his dad a homophobic, the look on Miles' face when his father said, we're not really close because we're always fighting and you're my oldest son and I want to get to know you more. The look on Miles' face, like the smile he had when his father hugged him, that's all he ever wanted. All he ever wanted was to have that relationship with his father. But his father made it difficult because, like I just said, no matter what Miles did, it was never ever good enough. So it made him act like a rebellious child, doing this, doing that. I mean, of course he loved his dad, but he just didn't like the way, he didn't think his dad was a good father. And that's what he wanted his father to be, a really good father. His father was just terrible. Like, he didn't care for any of the children, cheated on the mom, all of that. He didn't care about anyone. All he gave a fuck about was the campaign. That's all he cared about. So he really did that moment just for the press, which I think was fucked up, which I really in that moment really connected with Miles. And then, when he got with Tristan, his dad is still icing him out and things like that. Yet his dad don't want to talk about anything because now he really want to ice his son out because he's dating a boy. It made him self-medicate with smoking weed. Getting high, skipping class, having mood swings, getting really irritable with people. Like, Miles is just one of those characters I really thought was really, really relatable, because he was flawed. He wasn't perfect, which is how you like characters. You like characters because they're flawed. That's how you know that they're human, because they make mistakes. I can't like a character who isn't flawed, who's just one-sided. You got to do something. You got to be something. And I saw what Miles was, a really broken kid who just really needed to talk to someone. He needed someone to listen to him and understand all his pain. Because I feel like a lot of people felt like he did a lot of shit to get attention, and I don't think that's true. I really felt like he was asking for help. He just didn't say the words, help me. But he was asking, because he did a lot of stuff that really was like, can someone please help me? Can someone please just listen to me and not judge me? Someone please just listen to me. And I feel like the mother in Degrassi Next Class, their mom is terrible. She's horrible. When Miles first told her that he struck him and pushed him against the wall, she didn't believe him. She said, "Did you provoke him?" What? It doesn't matter what Miles said, what Miles did to his father. Whatever the fuck he did to his dad, doesn't his father doesn't have the right to push his son up against the wall or to strike him, hit him. It doesn't give him the right. That's child abuse, my guy. What you mean did I provoke him? It doesn't matter what Miles did. He's his dad at the end of the day. That's child abuse. What the fuck? Like, she's just a horrible parent. And the Degrassi next class, when she was trying to bring the father back into this child's life, who he hurt and manipulated and emotionally and physically abused, you want to bring this man back into your child's life. And like he told her, when dad's around, I can't breathe. I'm having panic attacks. I'm having anxiety attacks. I literally lose consciousness. And you want to bring this man who hurt me back into my life, and you want me to just pretend like it doesn't fucking bother me? What type of mother is that? What type of mother is that? She's talking about, if you care about this family, you'll show up to that family dinner. No, I can't be around a man who hurt me and then has yet acknowledged nor apologized for all the pain he caused me. Are you kidding me? His dad obviously felt like he didn't do anything wrong. That's why Miles never really gotten a fucking apology. Their mother is terrible. She's horrible. And so Miles felt like the only way he could be around his father is if he was high. So he started abusing pills. It doesn't matter what type of pills it was. He started abusing them to get high. He was skipping class. This is literally like the first year of junior year, which I think is really ridiculous because they were juniors for a really long ass time. To think they were juniors from season 1 to season 3 and didn't graduate to season 4. Season 4 was finally their senior year. Why the fuck are they semesters so long in Degrassi? What takes them so long to graduate? I mean, that's besides the point, but I feel like them kids be in school for too fucking long. It's like, damn, because in season 11, it was Maya's freshman year, her and Zig. So what? It was their freshman year from season 11 to 12, and then 13 and 14 were their sophomore years. Those are 2 whole seasons of a sophomore year. That literally makes no sense. They don't get no fall breaks, no spring breaks, no winter breaks. They literally stopped that. Like, none of that was like in the other seasons, they used to have spring breaks and stuff like that. And these seasons, it was just school, books, test, quiz, midterm. It's like, when the fuck do they get a break? I mean, like, damn. And then it's like, if Miles was always in Toronto, Canada, why the fuck didn't he come to Degrassi in season 11? If he was always here. And then why the fuck in season 13, the premiere episode, why the fuck was he just sitting in the hallway in the school? Why was he just sitting there? He was just sitting at the desk. What? Anyway. Yeah, the mom is terrible. Miles felt like the only way he could be around his dad is if he was high, abusing drugs, taking pills. When his mom first found out, she just flushed every pill he had down the toilet. Why didn't she put her son in rehab? It wasn't until he was almost about to die and overdose that she decided to finally get him some help. I mean, thank God, because if he didn't bump his head, she never would have knew he was doing drugs again after she flushed him. But in that moment when Winston told her he was abusing pills, she should have put his ass in rehab immediately. Because him telling you he'll stop doesn't mean he'll stop. He's a drug addict. Drug addicts lie. Is this bitch dumb? His mom is one of the dumbest, retarded parents I've ever seen on national TV. Like, she's so fucking stupid. She should have put him in rehab off top. There would have been no, just don't do it anymore. Don't do it again. Fuck that. He's going to do it again because he's a liar. This bitch is dumb. Then, she told him to get some help. So he went to go get some help. He went to rehab. He talked to the doctor and everything like that. He's going to get some help. Season 2, he tried to have a fresh start. He was going to go to different schools and stuff like that. But he decided to stay when Hunter purposely crashed his car into a pole. So he stayed, and him and Tristan is back together and blah, blah, blah. And then the bus crash happened. And then Tristan's in the hospital in a coma. And cheated on Tristan with Lola. And then, Tristan and Miles broke up in season 4 because, Miles got accepted to his book. I don't really remember. Y'all gonna have to bear with me because I'm just going off the top of my head. I think Miles's book, his creative right, whatever what they call it, a book that he wrote, whatever, a paper, book, whatever fuck he wrote in class, actually got noticed by a real publisher in England, and they offered Miles a 4-year journey ride in England for his book, for to have a book tour, everything like that. He wanted Tristan to come with him, but Tristan was not, medically cleared to travel or to do much, and Miles didn't want to be Tristan's caregiver. He didn't want to have to bathe him, help him put on his clothes, help him pee. And I just feel like if that's the case, then there was no reason for them to be together, period. Because when you love someone, you need to be their ride or die. You need to be there thick and thin. If Miles couldn't be in Tristan's corner during his darkest time, how the fuck is you gonna be there in my light? Don't be there for me when I'm up and then not try to be there for me when I'm down. So I was really happy when they broke up because I was over this back and forth, whether they want they and all this and all that. It was just tiring at this point. When they broke up in season 4, I was really fucking happy that they broke up. Only thing I would say is that I guess I could say I'm glad Tristan was actually was able to actually have a relationship after all that whining and bitching about nobody would ever love him. But all Miles did in his relationship with Tristan was fucking hurt him. That's all he did. Miles, to me, in his relationships with Maya and Tristan specifically, he was very fucking manipulative. Like, he knew how to say things and they would believe it. Like, I feel like whenever he would hurt them or anything like that, he never really suffered any consequence. Like, Tristan always took him back. Tristan was always apologizing for some of the if it was Miles who made a mistake. Like when Miles dogged him and was like, you're that desperate for someone to love you. Why is Tristan apologizing for doing something right for somebody he loved? He wanted Miles to get help. He wanted Miles to tell people why was he smoking weed so much. Why is he moody? Why is he skipping class so much? What happened? Because, before he started dating Tristan, he was taking school seriously, and then he dated Tristan, and now he's just AWOL. So it's like, what happened? So for Miles to just dog Tristan like that the way he did, and then for Tristan to apologize, that's gaslighting and it's manipulative to make Tristan feel like he did something wrong. Because what exactly did he do? He didn't go behind Miles' back. He was helping him. He got everyone in the room who cared and loved for him to tell him why they feel like he needs to talk to someone. That's what you do when you love somebody. You go at the ends of earth. So for Miles to look at it as betrayal and then to gaslight Tristan to thinking you betrayed me and Tristan actually believing in it, it's manipulative. It's very manipulative. He manipulated Tristan a lot. Like, he used to just say some of the dumbest shit ever, and Tristan really thought it was, like, so believable. Like when he told Tristan, I love you, but I don't think I love you enough to where I could stop hurting you. And then Tristan had the audacity to say, it's okay. It's okay for someone to basically say, they'll hurt you no matter how long y'all together, but at the end of the day, I'll always come back to you. No. Stay where the fuck you was at. Because that shouldn't be how it should go. And with Maya, I feel like there was only one specific moment he was really manipulative with Maya. And that was in season 13. When he basically was trying to have Winston lie about what really happened at his party the day Zoe got SA. And he wanted Winston to lie. He basically was just pretending like he wanted to help Zoe, which had nothing to do with any of that. He didn't want anything to do with Zoe. He just knew that if he was involved in the campaign and helping Zoe, it would make him get closer to Maya, which worked. She believed all that bullshit he said, and then, being manipulative, he told Winston he actually has a shot. And it's like, bro, you don't even care about Zoe. You don't even care what the fuck happened to her that night. And yet you have the audacity to really make everybody believe you're in this campaign to help her. You're not in this campaign to help her. You're in this campaign to get closer to Maya. Which is just very manipulative to make her think, oh, you changed and you're a better person. When it's like, no, you're still doing the same shit you were doing when y'all first got together. And you're still doing the same shit now. Like, when does it stop? When do you grow up? When do you learn? And that's the point that I'm trying to get to. I feel like in Degrassi Next Class, Miles is a whole different person. Like he actually changed. He was mature. He actually had growth, and I think when he officially broke up with Tristan, it set him on a whole new path. He needed to be on a path of peace, happiness, and just really figure out who Miles is without having to date somebody or be this or be that. I feel like Miles really changed in the Grassy Next Class, which I really feel like he shouldn't get all the hate that he get. Now, for those who say, "Oh, it was wrong for him to, to treat Lola like trash after they slept together," here's my thing, and this will be the last thing I say, and this video was done. With him and Lola, all of that is problematic. Yes, I was one of those fans who watched the Grassy Next Class and was like, "Oh my god, they're cute. They should have been in game." Or they had way more chemistry in one season than him and Tristan had in season 13 and 14 all the way to Next Class. But the thing is, Miles and Lola should not have been together. They only connected through trauma. It was trauma bonding. They only connected through pain and trauma. They had no they had no reason to speak to each other if it wasn't for the pain and the trauma. Miles is in pain. He was in so much pain because he didn't know Tristan would ever wake up. He didn't know Tristan was paralyzed. He didn't know anything. He didn't know what the future was going to hold for Tristan. So because of that, it had him lean on Lola, who was still sad that her and Tiny broke up and her best friend is now with him, and she's still dealing with her mother leaving and her dad not really spending that much time together like they did before, him just burying himself into work. They're connected with each other through pain and trauma. They had nothing really in common outside of pain and trauma. So why do I want two people together because of that? That's romanticizing trauma. We don't do that over here. I don't give a fuck. Asia doesn't do that over here. We don't romanticize trauma. So no, Lola and Miles should not have been together. And on top of that, she should have slept with a nigga who was in a relationship anyway. So why the fuck should I be upset? She knew what was going to happen. He was still in a relationship. What she thought? He was going to break up with Tristan and be with her? She couldn't be that fucking clueless. This bitch is dumb. He got what he wanted, took your virginity, and then dumped you like you was a piece of trash in a dumpster. And then she wound up being pregnant. Granted, I do feel like she should have told him. I mean, she did try to tell him, but he just didn't want to listen. Didn't want to listen. She should have told him. She should have told him again. I feel like he should have been there for the abortion. I feel like for him to find out on the internet was really like, ooh, ah! It was like, what the fuck? Like, WTF? But I also feel like, no. I, as a fan today who was 21, clear-minded, no, Miles and Lola should not have been in game. But that's all I have to say today for this video. This is my defense of Miles video. I don't think Miles is all that horrible. I really feel like if you're one of those fans out there who don't like Miles, you can have your opinion. But I really feel like you should rewatch Next Generation, the season he came in, which is season 13, 14, and then Next Class, and then have your opinion differently. Because he really is one of those characters who really had one of the best character developments I've seen in this show. But that's all I got for y'all today. Until next time, y'all have a good day. Live your life. Peace.